After 3 contractors quoted me $15,000 to fix my roof, I decided to investigate why the estimates were so similar. Hurricane damage left half my neighborhood needing roof repairs. Within days, contractors were knocking on doors, all promising quick fixes. The first quote came from Mitchell's Roofing, $15,000 for complete shingle replacement. The second estimate was from Apex Construction, $15,300. Almost identical scope, nearly identical price. The third contractor, Summit Home Repair, quoted $15,100. Same materials, same labor, same timeline. 3 different companies, virtually identical estimates. I work in data analysis for an insurance company. Patterns like this don't occur naturally. Instead of hiring anyone immediately, I started investigating. I called references from all 3 companies. Same customers kept appearing on different reference lists. When I spoke to homeowners directly, they told me interesting stories. Great work, but they subcontracted everything to the same crew. One customer explained. Different company name on the contract, but the actual workers were identical. Another reference mentioned something curious. The contractor said I was getting a special deal because they were working multiple houses in my neighborhood that week. That's when the pattern became clear. These weren't 3 competing companies. They were 3 fronts for the same operation, designed to create artificial competition while price fixing the entire market. But instead of reporting them immediately, I decided to gather more evidence. I scheduled appointments with all 3 companies for the same afternoon, told each one the other companies were coming by to finalize their bids. Mitchell arrived first, confident and professional. We walked the roof, discussed materials, reviewed his timeline. 30 minutes later, Apex showed up. I watched through my kitchen window as Mitchell and the Apex representative had an animated conversation in my driveway. Definitely not the first time they'd met. Summit arrived while both other contractors were still there. All 3 stood in my driveway like old friends catching up, not competitors fighting for a contract. That evening, I received 3 revised quotes, all exactly $14,800. They coordinated their final pricing right in front of my house. Time for the real investigation. I researched business registrations, contractor licenses, and insurance policies for all 3 companies. Same business address, same liability insurance policy, same state contractor license number. Mitchell's Roofing, Apex Construction, and Summit Home Repair were the same business using different names to eliminate competition and inflate prices. I documented everything. Photos of the contractors meeting in my driveway, screenshots of business registrations, copies of the identical quotes, audio recordings of phone calls where each company badmouthed their competitors. Then I called the state contractor licensing board. We've been investigating reports of price fixing in storm-damaged areas. The investigator told me, your documentation confirms what we suspected. The investigation moved quickly once state regulators realized the scope of the fraud. These 3 fake companies had collected over $400,000 from homeowners across 5 storm-damaged neighborhoods. Same crew, same materials, same work, but artificially inflated prices through fake competition. The scheme collapsed within 2 weeks. State investigators seized business records, interviewed dozens of customers, and documented systematic fraud across multiple counties. Mitchell, whose real name was Carl Brennan, faced charges for contractor fraud, price fixing, and operating unlicensed businesses. His fake companies had been running similar scams in 3 different states. The best part was Carl's reaction when investigators showed him the evidence I'd collected. How did some homeowner figure out our business model? He asked during his recorded interview. Data analysis, the investigator replied. Your target happened to be an expert in detecting patterns and anomalies. Carl was sentenced to 18 months and ordered to pay full restitution to all victims. His contractor licenses were revoked permanently. I hired a legitimate local roofer who'd been struggling to compete against the artificially low prices Carl's fake companies were offering established customers. Real quote was $8,200 for the same work. The actual repair took 3 days and passed all inspections. No subcontractors, no coordination with competitors, just honest work at fair prices. Carl's scam cost storm victims an extra $200,000 in inflated pricing. My investigation helped recover most of those losses through restitution orders. The state contractor board now uses my documentation as training material for investigators. They teach other regulators how to spot price-fixing schemes in disaster-affected areas. Professional insight. When multiple contractors quote nearly identical prices for custom work, especially after natural disasters, investigate before you hire. Real competition produces price variation. Carl thought he was targeting desperate storm victims who'd accept any quote to fix their homes quickly. Instead, he tried to scam someone whose job involves detecting exactly this type of fraud. Data analysts notice patterns, even in roofing estimates.